Dear Marjan, we are live. The floor is yours.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all our fellows and department heads of Women Ascension, Climate Action and Sustainability, WACAS. It's truly an honor to monitor today's session on climate reality and global responsibility. Today's discussion centers on understanding climate science, global responsibility, and how climate action aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 13 climate action. My name is Marjan Majidzada, head of WACAS, and I will be your moderator for this session. But first, I would like to introduce Woman Session for new juniors. Woman Ascension is a movement rooted in purpose. It is a global initiative built on the belief that empowered women can transfer communities, industries, and futures. With a presence in over 134 countries and a multiple disciplinary structure spanning 10 departments from STEM and climate action to peace building and media, it's offer a piece where women from all walks of life can lead, learn, and lift others. And also, woman ascension isn't just about leadership, it's about belongings. It's about creating pathway for women to step into their potential while staying grounded in collaboration. And also, Women Ascension 1 Million Leadership Program 2030 is a visionary global aimed to calculative, inclusive, and trauma-informed leadership across sectors of healthcare, education, science, policy, and community development, with the vision of empower 1 million women, youth leaders, and change makers by the year 2030, with the tools to lead with resilience and impact elegance with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And what makes MOLF unique? Fellows rotate through departments, gaining hands-on experience in advocacy, digital literacy, policy, and storytelling. The curriculum is deeply elegant with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, especially gender equality, education, climate resilience, and peace. Mentorship and community are central fellows supported by a global network of change makers who believe in leading with and a vision. It's a great pleasure to introduce our mentor for today's session, Dr. Renuka, founder and president of Global Sustainable Futures. Dr. Renuka, who is expert in climate education and sustainability leadership, brings valuable insight to today's discussion. We are grateful for her guidance. She is a visionary leader whose dedication to women empowerment, leadership development, and sustainability continues to inspire transformative action globally. We are very truly grateful for her guidance and mentorship. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for generous introduction, and I'm very pleased to be here and especially supporting the cause that you exist, and I think we share the same responsibility and aspirations. So thank you very much for having me here. So today I will talk about climate science, global responsibility, and how we can embed into our own, lifestyle. So probably because policies are made for people's lifestyle and people's better future. So that is why I say the policy frameworks, how we can contribute to them and how they contribute to us. So this is especially a collaborative efforts for how we can make sustainability as our governance structure. So let me try that with you all. Thank you very much for listening again. So let us understand what is climate science and weather. So, climate science is something that people have studied over the long years of time about the atmosphere, how it affects the celestial bodies and Earth, and everything that is also happening on the Earth since many, many, many years and ages. So that is what they have understood. And just in a very short things that our Earth is a part of a system which is where star is sun is the star, and we are the part of that system. And many years ago, you might have heard about ice age, and and then it has cooled down since then, and there was an ice age, but the long term has been something that the atmosphere has changed. It cooled down at some point, and then at the moment, what is happening that since 200 years of our industrial development, our atmosphere or our climate has changed drastically. Climate has always been changing, and the long-term trends are called climate science. I won't go into scientific details, but there are plenty of scientific methods being developed to understand them. And especially carbon carbon is something through which they can understand long-term, the years or the ages of that climate. Having said that, now what we hear, experience day-to-day weather of our environment, that is like, okay, if today is the rain, tomorrow it will be hot, and then it will be cold, and so on. That is short-term atmospheric condition, and that is called weather. So that is just two things that you should be keeping in mind. So how is the climate in Africa? Then we would say hot, because we are talking about the long term. Generally, it is a hot climate. But if we say, what is the weather today? Then you can say, oh, it was cooler than yesterday or hotter than yesterday, something like that. So it is short term. I hope you understand that. And then, but why we need to understand that? Because, as I mentioned one word that from 200 phrase that from 200 years, our climate has been drastically changed. It has been changing all the time, but since our industrial activities have increased by the man-made activities, we have emitted carbon emissions so much, and therefore we are experiencing global warming. Again, I won't go into scientific detail, but you must have heard that our resources which are on like polar ice, and on the poles we have ice which has been deposited from years and years before, are melting now because there is a global warming. What happens that the carbon dioxide, which is and many other gases which are emitted by us, but mainly they are put into a category called carbon dioxide emissions. And when they are released through the fossil fuels or any energy use that we are having, and that they are more and more stored in the atmosphere because of the atmosphere that can, does not allow them to um, reflect back. So it stays in our atmosphere, and therefore there is a global warming. And this melting ice uh, the water of melting ice goes into seas, but also the global warming affects not much about the land, but it, of course, it affects the land, but the ocean, because our Earth has 2/3 part of the Earth is ocean, and the ocean absorbs this heat and it becomes acidic, more and more acidic. And therefore, the oceans are also getting warmer than before. And this all then collectively makes the whole atmosphere warm. And this what happens that our regular active ecosystem that used to flourish because of the atmosphere that we had is being changed, and the weather patterns are being changed, and frequently we are being experiencing the extreme weather effects. So that is why we need to know, just care about, or at least we need to be aware of what climate changes are happening and how they are impacting our weather and what daily lifestyle is impacted due to that impact. So having said that, again, as I said, we are doing some we have been doing industrial activities, and in these activities, we have been using more and more energy, which is fossil fuel and other resources, minerals, and so on. And so therefore, we are depleting the natural resources. These natural resources take plenty of long years to replenish at the same amount. And therefore, we are depleting natural resources. And thus, it becomes our ethical responsibility that whatever the resources we use, we make sure that we use in balance in such a way that whatever is used is also regenerated at the other side. And therefore, this all scenario at the moment that has been raised as a climate emergency is because of that two things: global warming and the depletion of resources. There are plenty of other theories, and I don't want to go, but we can immediately understand that global warming is something that we experience very well because of the extreme climate change. I will come to those. This will be a lot easier in the coming slides. So, and therefore, we all must be understanding. We must be understanding this, that it is our responsibility to understand what are the current issues related to climate and environment and how they are impacting our social, political, and environmental, economic activities. And as we are a global citizen, just now in the introduction, you mentioned that we are the part of 134 countries. Actually, I'm a founder of GSFN, and I'm also part of, like my part. I have a footprint in about 184 countries, meaning that everyone is connected now, and we must establish our responsibility as a global citizen, where we take our own responsibility, how we can, reduce the negative impacts on environment and also reconstruct our societies in a way that we have that resources equally distributed in our society. So you must have seen that due to this, not only climate change, I think it is also due to the resource inequality in many, natural resource inequality in many parts of the world, or in different parts of the world. You must have experienced water shortage, loss of forest cover, depletion of minerals, extinction of species, and oil depletion. And these all, impact our economic, social, and environmental lifestyle. For example, where there is no electricity, students or children cannot get proper education, or where there is no energy supply, there would be no businesses flourishing in the way it should. And if there is no proper weather condition, then there would be no agriculture or produces that would be enough for people to survive. So there are many things that we can imagine due to climate change, but also due to the inequality in the society. And having said that, we must do development. And therefore, we must have, so the definition of development was redefined by Brundtland and in 1987, and she said, it should be a sustainable development, and that is our common future. A development that meets the need of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. And that would be our future generation, common future. So that was raised in 1987, and it has been highly accepted by people because the world community begin to develop that there are not only two pillars, economic and social, but also there is one more pillar, which is environment, that we need to take care. And if we take care of these all three, then only it can be called sustainable development. And this concept has been debated widely, and now we accept it as a principle of our activities. Whether it may be individual activity or whether it may be, business activities. Each and every activity has social, environmental, and economic impact, and we need to make sure that we balance everything through it. And after many years of debate and refinement of the concept, in 2015, we came up with these 17 goals, and they are called Global Goals for Sustainable Development. And there are 17 goals, and you can see that each goal has a clear target that we should have. Say, for example, goal 1 is no poverty, goal 2 is no hunger, and so on. And this is easily available on any Google search. If you do 17 goals of sustainable development, you will come across them, and please take time to read them and understand them. What does that mean? And so there are 17 goals, 169 targets, and 15 years of time was given. So by 2030, we want to achieve all these. And they are embedded, or they are supported by these 6 Ps, which are 5 Ps, which are people, prosperity, peace, partnership, and plant. And let me just give you one example here, that say, for example, you have this target, as I said, 17 goals, but 17 goal has 169 targets. And say, let me choose just one target here, which is 4.7, that 4.7 by 2030 ensure all learners acquire knowledge, skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development and sustainable lifestyle, human rights, gender equality, promotion of culture of peace and nonviolence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of cultural contribution to sustainable development. So this is what it has. And so you have indicators you have targets, and you have also some idea that how you should be going forward to achieve this. So all the targets have such indicators and monitoring framework. So, and why it is important to also learn and understand SDGs, because these translate to having stronger societies and leaving no one behind. And you can see that when actually I have a paper on this, and if you look up for institutional wild cooperative approach case study by Renuka Thakore, you'll find the whole paper. And so 4 core functional activities of sustainability leadership are divided into 4 big areas. So education, research, operation, and extension. What does that mean? That for any university, this was an university case study, but that can be applied to any organization. So any organization also say, because university is quite multi-stakeholder and multilateral organization, multi-stakeholder organization, I took its case study. And so university has a mandate to deliver education, but that education must be embedded with the training of sustainability. If you know chemistry very well, yes, that's very good. But if that chemistry is not helpful to the society, how you don't know how to embed your knowledge of chemistry to help reduce the pollution, because through chemistry you would come to know what is pollution, what are polluted gases, and if you cannot stop that pollution impacting the society, then that is worthless. And therefore any education, any knowledge that is gained must be embedded in your lifestyle or activity in a such a way, workplace activity also in a such a way that it reduces the negative impact on the society. Likewise, research and the operation itself, operation of the business itself. A university is a business entity as well. So their business also should be something that, for example, plenty of students come to the university, so their footprint of carbon emission could be huge because every student would use some sort of fossil fuel emissions to come to the university. So do they have a bus? Do they have an electric bus to bring people to the university campus to reduce overall carbon emissions? So that is just one example. Do they have a culture of not printing papers? Or do they have culture of recycling? So these are something that they should embed into the operations and then communicate the same culture or same practices to the community. So extend that involvement to the local community as well. So, and if such education is imparted, then the competence of that student when graduates out of or goes out of the work university, it has embedded into his behavior and thinking, and then that student becomes a committed citizen and can execute those principles into workplace and living. And that is how effective SDG can be executed. So global citizenship and sustainability go hand in hand. They are the faces of same coin and should be addressed simultaneously. And with that principle in my mindset, I started this global sustainable futures network. However, I'm not here to advocate that, but this was within my PowerPoint, and therefore I have mentioning here. But I have also the link to my TED Talk about that. So do have a look. And so again, I will skip this. I have already mentioned. But what I want to say here that we have a logical framework just because I have this understanding that how we can increase the global citizenship for SDGs. I devised this my form. Whoever joins GSFN has to fill up this form, and the form asks them, what is your driver? So SDG, say, for example, 2 or 6 or whatever. Why I'm asking this driver? Because someone might have come across some understanding that, okay, we have to decrease poverty first. Then only we will be able to prosper. Now, if you want to decrease poverty, the goal number, what is that goal number? We have already seen. No poverty means SDG 1. That is your driver. And through that, if you want to, and I know that would put consequences to many SDGs, because say, for example, I want to reduce, my goal is to know poverty, meaning that I need to give proper education. I need to create atmosphere of decent workplace. I need to innovate into industries. So this all then can allow me to work towards that. But my goal is no poverty. So this is what I mean, and that is your driver. So that is why I have asked only one SDG, that what is your driver. Then we ask, here for me, you can see research. And we have 4 domains, as I already mentioned about university, that it can be education, research, enterprise, and community. So you can select one domain out of that 4. And then you have level, which is global, country level, home level, family level, university level, sector level, whatever. What we want to see that you focus on that level and you see yourself stronger in that level. If you are doing some activity, do not say I do globally unless you are not doing globally. But if you are focused on one thing, say, for example, you are very good at waste management or you are very good at operations, then say that. Then because it shows you stronger in that. And then we ask you 3 words that what prescribes you. So for example, for me, it would be transdisciplinarity, it could be sustainability governance, and it could be like capacity building. So I can say these 3 words, and looking at that 3 words, 6 elements, SDG number, level, and my domain, and 3 words, people would immediately understand what I am after, what is my driver, what I want to target. And what we do that we allow people to do their work, because this is what they are doing already in their lifestyle or at a workplace. And at the end of the year, we invite people to self-nominate themselves for the award. Remember, it is a self-nomination, because what I feel philosophically, that it gives you a time to reflect on yourself. You are the best ambassador of yourself. Who else can speak about you better than yourself? So it is you have to take the responsibility, showing that, okay, I decided to do this. Am I doing this? Am I focused to do it? And what further I can do with this? So these all reflection will help you to keep focus, to grow, to evolve, and to ask for help with people and to collaborate with people. So these all things help you to grow. And therefore, we are having this type of engagement when people start to join GSFN. I'm not advocating here. I'm just giving an example that this can help you to be leader. In your own pace, also try to think where you are and reflect yourself and how I can contribute to the society. So leadership is something that, traditionally high-level person says, and you all do it. That is traditional leadership. Otherwise, if you are expert, then you would stay, do it on your own, but it hardly brings others together. Each one is doing something, but it is hardly provides a collaborative model that can bring a collective, impact. And therefore, interdependent collaborative model should be exercised. And such a network, the platform today we are here, can only give that. And self-leadership, you all have taken a self-leadership to be here, myself and you all. And therefore, it is called self-leadership, proactive accountability. You have taken some time to think, okay, I can do this and I will do it. And people leadership, like coach-like engagement. Today, when you ask me questions, I will be learning from you that, okay, these are the questions that people have. And you are learning just now from me when I'm speaking. So this is a coach-like engagement. And it creates an interdependent collaboration. If you don't ask, I'm not here to tell you. So it is just interdependent collaboration. And therefore, we need to have a transformative innovation as a cultural leadership. And sustainability, our common goal to sustainable development, can create a cultural leadership. It is a vehicle to create that, and therefore we should be doing that. So let me come to this now as our exercise. So I will stop. I have a last two slides to go through as a part of an exercise. What the moderator wants me to do. Should I continue, or would you like to stop here for questions? Thank you very much. Hello, I don't hear the moderator. Are you all hearing me well? Hello, Tahima. Are you all hearing me? Can anyone tell me? Sorry. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. What should I do? Should I go ahead with the exercise, or we want to stop for any question answers? Exercise,
Sorry, ma'am.
okay.
Sorry, ma'am. I
Yes,
had network issue. Because of that, I
all
was trying
right.
to on. Yes, ma'am. You can go with the exercise. Sorry for that.
All right, okay. Thank you very much. So I hope you can see my slides still, right?
Yes, ma'am. I can. We
Okay,
have. Yeah.
all right. I would like you to okay, so I'm showing here three pictures, okay? And the first one is related to 2023 disasters. And it says that $23 billion weather and climate disasters in 2023. Can you tell me how it is related to our SDGs and which SDGs? Can anyone tell me? That why should we bother about it? And which SDGs? Anything comes to your mind, then we can start a discussion also, whether it is right, wrong. Please open your mic and tell. Okay, because it is our only home. Yes, okay. Anything else? If it is only home, so to which SDG are you relating with? Yes, SDG 13, climate change. Well done. But when I'm saying here we have severe weather, flooding. Okay, let us take flooding. Flooding is quite common nowadays, especially in developing countries. So what happens when there is a flooding? First of all, flooding is related to what? Water? Yes. It damages a lot of living. Exactly. So when it damages, what happens? And what it damages? Communities, lifestyle. It damages buildings, roads. Yes, exactly. Agriculture, crops. So if it damages crops, what will happen? If it damages the agriculture, if water comes in the farms and stays there for 10 days, what will happen? Yes, no food. It will be directly also impacting which SDG? Two. And what is SDG 6? SDG 2 is no hunger, I remember. What is SDG 6? You can Google and tell me. We are all learning. Clean water and sanitation. Exactly. Yes, poor health. Health. So which SDG number is health? 3. Exactly. And what happens? Infrastructure also breaks, destroys. You will see bridges, dams breaking. So what happens that? What is it? How it is related to which SDGs? 9 and 11. So which one is 9? SDG 9. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Exactly. And 11, SDG 11. Sustainable cities and communities. Exactly. And what will happen to the schools? SDG 9, yeah. What will happen to the schools when floods come? Will children be able to go to schools? No. So it will also impact what? Education. What number? SDG number 4. And you will lose the electricity for several days. What will happen to that? So what SDG? I think we have already spoken about industry, isn't it? Yes. industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Yes, 9 and 11. Then still there are some SDGs related to it. What will happen, as I mentioned about the agriculture, hunger we have seen, but there is another SDG related to agriculture as well. Land use, land, the life on land. Which SDG number? Anyone? And what should happen during these days? Should we fight? Or what should we do? Yes, it is 15. And what should we do with that? I mean, how we can then address floods, or how we could have addressed floods? We should work together. Exactly. So which SDG allows us to work together? SDG 12, but there is also particular word, a particular SDG to work together. Partnerships. 17, exactly. And yeah, thank you. And we should keep ourselves calm and decent and peaceful. So which SDG will that relate to? Exactly, partnership, but we also need to think about SDG 16. Which is SDG 16? Can anyone look at SDG 16? So just one episode, one event of flood can impact all our SDGs. So you can imagine that this is a magic goals. These are for the people and by the people. You know, for SDG, 80 million people were consulted by cascading models. And so it is made for the people and by the people. Exactly, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Thank you. So, and then you can see here wildfire. And you can see also climate disaster in first half of 25, they were the costliest, even on record, and research shows this. Billions of damage has happened due to the, our not taking care of climate, because certain things are happening. Though we have so many technologies, and you can see these, of course, the data and statistics is far more clear in USA, and so therefore you can see this all clarity of these disasters and the numbers from USA here in my picture. But it is happening everywhere. It is that we don't have the data for such things to show in Africa or in Asian or developing countries. And it is happening every day. And so people don't know, the world don't know about it. And so we need to create that data. We need to take our responsibility, educate ourselves, and get into context of what SDGs are and how we can achieve them. If we try to contribute to achieve, to reach the target of these 169 indicators, how nice the world would be. So just for, let me go to the second. Now there is always a news like this. Say for example here, this is a old news, but however, they do matter every time. Say for example, security levels in doubt. So it directly affects us. our security. Then electric car battery firms goes into administration. How it is that? Like how we are able to, so each and every news today also relates directly to our SDGs. Because SDGs are for the people, by the people, and we are the doers as well as we are the achievers of SDGs. So I will stop here for others to ask.
Sorry, ma'am, you're mute.
I was on mute all the time?
No, ma'am, the only last few words you said, we didn't get because you were mute.
All
Was
right,
mute.
I'm very sorry. Just last I said that I hope I was able to impart the education to you just about these climate change and SDGs. So that's where I am. I'm happy to answer the questions.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. If anyone have any question, you can ask, please.
Yes, Marjan, please go on.
Hello, ma'am. I hope you are doing well. I have one question. What are simple actionable steps individuals can take to strengthen their personal climate awareness and reduce their carbon footprint?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's very important question. Each one, say for example, whenever you do any shopping, whenever you do any activity, so in our daily life and at workplace also, you might be buying things, you might be purchasing your food, you might be using fossil fuel vehicles for transport and so on. Just get aware or think. And nowadays, Google is very helpful. Google browser or AI or ChatGPT, they are all very useful. Of course, I would not encourage that you use lot more these things because they are also energy intensive. But you can just imagine that, okay, and I think the awareness has grown as well. For example, if I want to go to workplace today, every day I'm going, and if I'm using my car and I'm only going myself, and if I try to get a public transport, then it will be less emission for me. Or if I share with other 3 people and go by a pool car, then it will be less emission to me. Or if I cycle, if it is possible within my reach and my health, and if I cycle, then that is a lot more easier and zero emission. And if I can walk, that is far more better because within my, again, I would say whatever your reach is, it will give you health benefits as well. Also going through the nature, but you have to be mindful again because of our polluted cities that it is not hampering your health otherwise. So these are the few things, like while you are eating, again, you must understand that, are you eating a healthy food? Are you buying from the local sources? Are you trying to balance all the things, just not eating meat or just not eating vegan or just not eating only one type of food all the time? Because variety of the food helps you, but also the nature. So that is the things you have to change. For example, for me, I buy clothes. I only buy from charity shops. I only buy reused clothes. I never buy virgin clothes. But I am still very fashionable, very comfortable. So you can also do the same. And even in my daughter's marriage, I just borrowed clothes from my friends and family. I did not spend any money for my virgin clothes. And I was far, far more happy. So you have to change in this way. I hope that is clear to you. Thank you. Okay, there is a question again here, but Raina has raised her hand. I can answer her question and then I will answer the question in the chat.
Hello, ma'am. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for giving me the chance for asking. I have a question about are there successful model of grassroots project that aligns with climate action and also multiple stages that we can learn from it?
Please say again, what you want, road, you said? Say again, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I couldn't understand the clarity of your question. Sorry.
Okay. I will repeat it. I asked that are there successful models of grassroots projects that aligns climate action with multiple SDGs that we can learn from it?
Okay. Successful models of grassroots community level, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, there are plenty. Actually, you have to take a leadership in your community and start any project. For example, many universities here, for example, in UK, they have set up a student championship, student, like sustainability champions or student hubs for recycling, for water sanitation, and for transport, and many other things like that. And I've seen them growing a lot. Especially at grassroots level, I have seen in many countries also, what say for there are few here groups. They are called self-help groups, and what they do that they start say a coffee shop, and they commit themselves to see that whole process of the coffee making, starting from the coffee sourcing to the cup and to the customer until they dispose the coffee cup, everything is sustainable. So throughout the supply chain, they have made it possible to do that. And there are many groups who have come together, especially in Pakistan also I have seen, and in Africa also I have seen, India I have seen, that they come together to plant some garden at home. And they exchange between them plants and its advantages and disadvantages. And so they all grow their food at home and they consume from their own food. So these are some of the examples. And if you go further, I think Japan is a very good example for growing food at home. They do all of them in the family. They do that best to do their agriculture at home. They have 35 different waste streams at home to distribute and they distribute to 30. They are so particular in separating the waste and then putting into the waste recycling. So these all things, can be done very easily. There are plenty of examples now. Awareness is going on, and you can start the movement anywhere, and it will work. Thank you. So now, how can young leaders influence national and international climate policy in meaningful way? I was just an hour ago, I was at one of the student initiative climate policy platform, and I was impressed by people there. I mean, the young people there, and probably, there were, and in the organizing team, I saw more women than men. So I think they can definitely influence. Now, how they can influence? Young people are trendy. Just as I gave an example, if they start buying some clothes, reused clothes, and start advertising why they bought these, telling their story on Instagram, they can influence people, and therefore these growth can influence the policymaker also, that if people are not buying virgin clothes, the market demands for the reuse clothes, then they can make a structured policies to encourage that reuse clothes. So those people who are in the street selling reuse clothes can get a tax benefit, say, for example, and do not have to pay much rent, say, for example, or they get some sort of, other incentive that whoever buys from them get a tax intensive. Then this whole policy regime can change our impact on society. So these young leaders, there are so many. Today, our earth is said to be young, like especially in developing countries. And in developing countries, we do not have resources. And there is a huge need of development as well. And there is a huge demand of consumerization. But if the consumerization is come into the circular loop, then okay, you consume, that's no problem. But whatever you consume, the waste developed should be recycled or reused in a way that it does not impact the energy as well. Because, even the recycling is good, but recycling also is highly energy incentive at the moment. So we have to make a possibility. I don't encourage consumerization at all. So first of all, we have to think whether we want it or not. And when we want it, we should be. So today, actually, we were celebrating a right to repair day. And right to repair means, you must have a right to repair. Today, at few months ago, my Apple Watch broke. And I asked them to repair, and they said it will be 800 pounds. Whereas new one I can buy for 250 pounds. Then I had to compulsory buy a new one, because there wasn't any choice for me. I cannot spend 800 pounds to repair it. And so it is wrong on the producer side that this should not happen. So because then everyone would say, oh, why did you buy an Apple Watch? So it shouldn't be like that. We should have a collective voice to approach this problem, address this problem, and create a collective things to do it. So then it is possible. We can also influence the policy. Okay, yes. Please, Marjan.
Yes, ma'am. There is one question. Just I want to
Yes.
read it. Which climate science concepts are most critical for young leaders to grasp in order to take informed action individually and globally?
Thank you. Climate science is not just one science. Climate science is mixture of many sciences. So it should be like chemistry, physics, and biology, and many sciences come together to become a climate science. Okay, so climate science concept, I think only one thing is to remember that we have to stop carbon emissions going into the atmosphere, and how I can become carbon neutral. So you need to just understand in each and every activity that carbon, so you must be carbon literate. So that is the first critical thing, that you become a carbon literate. What is carbon? What is the carbon unit? And how I am emitting my carbon and how I can reduce my carbon. So the whole new currency is carbon for you to understand, not your bank balance. If you save carbon, definitely you are going to save on bank balance because it is directly related. So the first concept you need to understand is carbon, okay? In your point of view, how can climate education be adapted to societies where environmental awareness is still low? Like, okay, environmental awareness is still low. I think it is very low. Yes, you are right. Because when we see a tree being cut, we still understand, okay, I think the awareness of cutting tree has grown. But we don't know. Every day, many trees are cut because we are not aware of those news. We don't get those news. And, even in our own neighborhood, not only trees, because nowadays our supply chain has become so complex and so lengthy, in a sense of you never know where your product comes from. Yesterday I was talking to my daughter, and she mentioned that some of the countries have made a rule that they will not buy from China, okay, or Russia, okay. But what happens that those who can buy from China or Russia buy it, and they supply to some other country, and then they supply to other country, and then they supply to other country, and then they supply to other country, and then it comes back to you. And originally it is from China or Russia. And you never know that thing. So the supply chain has become very, very complex. And, having that, why I'm talking about supply chain, because each and everything that you consume has its supply chain. So now, for example, I am a COFA technical advisor and a director. So let me give you a simple example of chocolate. In chocolate, when you buy, it might be written, made in Brussels, made in Belgium, or made in Germany, something like that. Mostly it will be from European country, and you will be proud that, oh, I'm eating a Belgium chocolate, okay? But that Belgium chocolate powder, which has been processed in Belgium, the raw material comes from either one of the country of Africa, say for example, Ghana or Cote d'Ivoire or Cameroon, and you will never know what's happening there at the ground. So you must be, so the transparency, the responsibility of climate education remains with those people who are in that chain, in that supply chain. They would write made in Belgium, but they will not write coffee bean sourced from Ghana or coffee bean sourced from Cameroon. Because when they sell a chocolate, they get 5p per chocolate, and that chocolate is made from 64 kgs of whatever is produced by Ghana farmers, and the living cost of differences of that people who are selling chocolates could be something like they would have $200 to $2,000 a day, whereas Ghana farmers would have $2 a day or less, but not more. So that is the wide difference. And we cannot see that all because of the complexity of the society. So I don't know where, but we should start developing these. Now in schools chapters, we are never taught about chocolate. We are never taught about where it brings, what is the supply chain, and we are never taught what happens at the ground level. So this all should be coming into our education because of the climate now. So I'll stop here. It is too much to explain. Thank you very much.
Okay, is there any question? I think there is Raihana Jan, yeah. She asked, ma'am, that in your point of view, how can climate education will be adopted to societies?
No, I think I answered that question.
Okay, then, ma'am,
just now.
we don't have. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Then, okay, great. Okay, ma'am, we don't have other question, ma'am. I think we can end up the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you. Bye for now.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to say at the end, thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable mentorship. And also, thank you to all our fellows and departments heads for your meaningful participation. And together, we can continue to lead with purpose and create impact. And this session is now officially concluded. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much again, ma'am. It was really
Thank
great
you.
session for all of us, and I learned a lot. I'm sure that everyone, all the fellows learned a lot from today's session. Thank you so much again, ma'am.
Thank you.